The Dork Disc, that small piece of semi-transparent plastic that sits between the gears and the spokes. If there's one consistency in bikedom, especially among mountain bike riders, it's that the Dork Disc has to go. But does it? Lots of my bikes still have their Dork Disc, or as manufacturers call it, a dust cover or dust shield. Even my Hyper Carbon X, a bike that I've stripped down and only use really the original frame, it's still rocking its Dork Disc. So no matter where you look at my house, you're gonna see lots of wheel plastics. Even on bikes that don't even have a cassette, they're still rocking a Dork Disc. To be fair, I also have and regularly ride bikes that don't have one, including my most expensive bike. And as I was looking around, I started to think about why it's there and why so many people don't like it. Because ride a mountain bike on a trail long enough with a Dork Disc and it's almost a guarantee that someone's gonna ask you why you haven't removed it. In this video, I want to talk about that mindset and why the Dork Disc is there to begin with. First, let's talk about that name, Dork Disc. Dork Discs are easy to dislodge, especially when you're riding them on a trail, and they tend to wobble around in a, well, dorky looking way. And some people will say it makes your bike look like a beginner bike, but most are going to say that it's unnecessary weight, though it's really not much. The heaviest disc I have weighs 26 grams, which is only 7/8 of an ounce. Most of the discs I weighed were between 10 and 12 grams, which is 3/8 or less ounces. Not a lot, but when you're trying to lighten a bike, a gram is a gram, so I see where this could be an easy target. Though I find it interesting that, at least locally, the people that I see that'll remove a Dork Disc to save weight will then turn around and install things like crank arm boots to protect the finish on their crank arms, or more commonly, wrap an old inner tube, which is not light by the way, around their chainstay to protect the finish. Carbon bikes aside, because that's an entirely different argument, but all this has made me wonder if all this Dork Disc hate is really about cosmetics. And I'm not judging here because I also like to keep my stuff looking good. Nothing wrong with that. Is it possible that this disc is something better kept in place? Let's make that argument. Say you're rolling around in your easy gear and you run over a stick on the trail and it presses into your derailleur hanger and bam! Chain goes between the gears and the spokes. If you have a Dork Disc, this is a minor annoyance and it will usually pop itself right back into gear. This has, over the years, happened to me more than once, and on a lower end bike, just the bouncing riding on a trail alone can make those floppy rear derailleurs jump all over the place. And a Dork Disc can keep that from becoming more problematic. It doesn't take much imagination to envision what would happen if a chain, through whatever circumstance, went into the spokes under power. And I've heard tales locally of spokes being snapped by the chain. I can only imagine that those people didn't have a Dork Disc. There is no guarantee that even with a disc, this small piece of plastic would protect the spokes under a powerful rider's downstroke, but for the average rider it's likely to offer at least some insurance. Here I intended on using the Pacific Evolution to duplicate a chain under load going into the spokes, but wouldn't you know it, this bike can't even fail properly. The broken shifter and bent derailleur won't let me push it to the failure point without an extra set of hands, which I've yet to grow. Even in these shots you can see that the chain to spoke scenario doesn't look good, even worse if this were on a good wheel set. So the Dork Disc is potentially useful and it really doesn't add much weight. And if you buy even the most expensive full suspension mountain bike from the factory, it's going to come equipped with one. Plus, most of us are willing to add extra weight to our bikes to protect other areas of our finish, so why not a Dork Disc? So comment below and share your thoughts on the Dork Disc, and also if you do or don't have it on your bike. And if you did remove it, be honest and let me know, did you do it for cosmetic reasons? If you did it to shed weight, let me know if you also added chainstay protection, which also adds weight. I'm not critiquing here, I'm just curious of the mindset. Comment below and let me know. Let's get this discussion started, because I'm really curious about what people have to say on the Dork Disc. Thanks for watching another KevCentral video. Be sure you're subscribed and that you have that bell notification icon active so you don't miss anything, like an upcoming video where I'll feature a bike that definitely does not need a Dork Disc. Have a great day.